They say the Tower of London holds many dark secrets, but none as terrifying as her. A ghostly figure draped in white, a scent of roses that signals her arrival, and eyes, black, hollow, and filled with unspeakable torment. Some have seen her. Others have heard her whisper their names. And a few were never the same again. But the scariest part? She chooses who sees her next. Stay with me till the end. Because by the time you finish this story, you might start feeling her presence too. Darkness lingers within the cold, ancient walls of the Tower of London. Whispers of the past crawl through the air like invisible fingers, brushing against those who dare to step inside. Shadows stretch unnaturally long beneath the dim torchlight, flickering as if they hold secrets older than time itself. And among these secrets, one name is spoken in hushed, fearful tones: the White Lady. They say she appears when you least expect her. A pale figure, draped in flowing white, standing motionless in the corridors of the bloody tower. The scent of roses fills the air before she arrives, sweet yet suffocating, like the breath of something unseen watching from the darkness. Many have claimed to see her, to feel her cold presence, to hear the whispers that do not belong to the living. The legend of the White Lady is as old as the stones that build the tower itself. Some believe she was a noblewoman, wrongfully accused, her fate sealed by jealous rivals. Others whisper that she was a queen, betrayed by those closest to her blood spilled upon the cold floor, her cries forever trapped within these walls. No matter the tale, her end was brutal. And now, she lingers. There are those who scoff at the stories, calling them nothing more than superstitions. But how do you explain the guards who swear they've seen her, even as they shudder with fear? How do you explain the countless reports of chilling laughter echoing through empty chambers, or the light touch of ice-cold fingers brushing against an unsuspecting shoulder in the dead of night? One particular account, more terrifying than most, comes from a guard who worked the night shift. He had heard the tales, but paid them no mind until he saw her. It was a quiet night, the kind where even the wind seemed to hold its breath. As he walked his usual route, the scent of roses crept into his nose, making his stomach turn. Then, from the corner of his eye, he saw movement. A figure in white, standing at the end of the corridor, her head bowed, her long hair cascading over her shoulders like a shroud. His breath hitched. He wanted to call out, to demand who she was, but something stopped him. The figure slowly lifted her head, and the moment their eyes met, a terror unlike anything he had ever known gripped him. Her eyes, black voids of endless torment, stared directly into his soul. The room grew unbearably cold. His limbs felt frozen in place. And then, she screamed. It was not a scream of anger or sorrow. It was something else entirely. Something inhuman. The kind of sound that burrows deep into your bones, that gnaws at your sanity, that makes you forget what it means to be alive. The torches along the walls flickered wildly, casting frantic shadows. And then, in the blink of an eye, she was gone. But the scent of roses remained, lingering in the air, a cruel reminder that she had been there. Since that night, the guard refused to step foot inside the Tower of London after dark. His hair, once dark, had turned stark white within weeks. He left his post soon after, never speaking of what he had seen, but those who knew him could see the fear still clinging to his every breath. Others have seen her too, Tourists visiting the tower have captured strange, blurred figures in their photos, standing just beyond the reach of the camera's focus. Some have felt icy fingers run down their spines as they explored the halls, only to turn around and find no one there. And then there are those who have heard the whispers, soft, pleading, full of despair. They say if you listen too closely, you might just hear her calling your name. The most terrifying part? No one knows when she will appear next. It could be in the dead of night, when the world is silent and still. It could be when you least expect it, in the middle of the day. As the sun bathes the ancient stone walls in golden light, she is always watching, waiting, bound to the tower by the echoes of her tragic past. And now, as you listen to these words, as you hear the story unfold, you might feel it. That unsettling chill in the air, that sudden prickle on the back of your neck. Perhaps it's just the power of suggestion, or perhaps she is closer than you think.